I remember that now, Martin. Don't you worry. I remember what you said. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time you're watching this, whether it be on YouTube or through our Facebook page, Irish Rugby Banter. It's our weekly video again. Joining me tonight is of course, our usual host, taking over punditry duties at the moment, Mr. Peter Burke. Still on a couple of cans of Dynamite. Also with us is our resident Sarah Duffy, who has finally gotten her voice back and is back to normal. Unfortunately, I have been told that my husband has been unable to get her word in edgeways since Friday.
He fucking loves
it. Also with us as well is our current wafter in chief and statman, Peter Martin. From our Wild West, James Grennan, a man who is well used to sporting teams that barely win any trophies. So,
I felt that dig.
I was waiting to see what he'd come up with.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Of course, my fellow Munsterman, Richard Holland, who has two great loves in life: scrum halves and Munster rugby. So
not mutually exclusive either.
Oh.
And Danny, don't forget, of course, as a Munster supporter, you have a great sense of humour.
Oh, yeah. Again, you see, I have a naturally great personality, so humour comes part and parcel with that anyway. So don't worry. But I suppose we'll kick off tonight anyway. I suppose with our review of the Connacht Leinster match from last Friday night. Leinster winning that one 10-0 in Sports Ground. I only saw a few moments of that here and there, and I'll go to Mr. Burke first. What was your thoughts on the Leinster Connacht game?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Connacht played well. I thought after the first 3 or 4 minutes, after Foley went over for that try, the Josh van der Veer break, and Foley scored a try. 4 minutes in, I thought it was going to be a whitewash for Leinster, but it wasn't. And fair play to Connacht. They stopped Leinster from scoring. Although Connacht didn't register on the board, but I thought it was a good performance by Connacht. In fairness, now I know I always say to James Grennan in jest a lot of weeks that Connacht are shite, but they were far from it. They put it up to Leinster. They disrupted Leinster's attack. They as I said, I mean, I think Leinster scored, what was it, 7-0 at half time. Leinster scored a penalty in the second half, obviously the game ended 10-0. I thought Connacht did well. They put it up to us. And Leinster, I think, on another day, might have lost that. That's been honest. There you go.
Yeah. Sarah Duffy?
Yeah, I've seen that match. I think Connacht did well against Leinster, as you know. I know the scoreline didn't really reflect. But any team that's going to play Leinster could expect kind of a double-digit loss. But Connacht actually held in there, and they could have had them at one stage. I think that Martin Maloney, I think, is that his name? Martin Maloney.
Who, the second row?
Yeah, I think I think that's his name, Martin Maloney. He's a bit of a talent to watch. Maybe I've got the name wrong.
Niall Murray in the line-out. Was it? No?
No, I thought his name was Martin Maloney. We call him Martin Maloney for the crack, sure.
We call him Marto.
And I think it was good to welcome back some of those emerging Ireland players as well, like Clarkson, I can't think of his name now. Max Teagan was the other one. Soroka, I think, was he one, and Jamie Osborne and those kind of players. Yeah, I wasn't really the score reflected how kind of well they played. It was kind of take the points and go. Nobody really took their chances on the night. And you know, I'm trying to avoid saying this, but that Frank Murphy ref, that was like a curse. you know, and I think going by social media, he annoyed a lot of people. I thought it was just me.
Oh, here.
But was it just me, or was Leinster miles too clever for the referee?
He annoys Burke as soon as his name is mentioned.
Yeah, he knows a lot of
And
people as soon as his name is mentioned.
What's his nickname? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. And just on a recovery note, I hope James Ryan is okay. That looked pretty nasty, that injury. And
actually, James Ryan, that was his first appearance at the sports ground. That's Friday night.
oh
Ever?
It was his first appearance at the sports ground.
Yeah.
wow. And he got injured.
Yeah,
Didn't know
that's his
that.
first appearance there.
He got a
I didn't know it either. I saw it on Twitter earlier too.
he got a
You
very
know,
warm round of applause from the clan stand as he was coming off anyway.
Yeah.
People appreciate him and his efforts as well.
Yeah, Connacht could have taken that game.
James, your thoughts on that?
At one stage. They could have taken that game at one stage. You know, and
Oh, well, now calm down, Sarah.
no, they could have. Come on.
I agree with Sarah. They could have.
I'm trying to be nice this week because I'm not off my head on the painkillers I was on last week, you know? Putting that out there. They were prescribed. You went and said I was like a druggie.
I didn't. I said you were smacked. I said you were smacked off your tits. I didn't say you were a druggie. I just said you were smacked off.
Yeah, but I was smacked off my tits on prescribed drugs. There's a difference, right?
You just implied it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Well, there you go. Go on. But you made sense.
Some days, anyway.
Go on, Danny.
James Grennan, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, to be honest, after 3 minutes, when we were 7-0 down, I turned to some of the guys beside me in the clan stand and I said, Jesus Christ, I'll have the bonus point wrapped up by half time here. This is looking ominous. They came fully loaded. As I put up a post as well during the week saying, we expected to see Leinster doing a real job, and Connacht came fully loaded, and I got a bit of a backlash from it. There was a lot of varying opinions on how loaded Leinster were, but then again, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, so just you don't need to listen to that. It's nearly as bad as the email I got from Screwfix when I emailed them and they told me, no, this is not a dating agency.
What's that email again?
Good one there, James. Good one.
I like it.
Getting back to the match. Obviously, it didn't show on the telly what the conditions were like. Ross Byrne, he had a couple of what would be on a calm day or on a reasonable day would have been kickable penalties to bring Leinster even 6 points further clear. But he missed them. They dropped short. The conditions were horrendous. The rain was coming sideways. I was in at the back of the clan stand, and I could even feel the mist coming in there. And you normally never get wet there, So it was pretty horrendous conditions. I thought Connacht's defence was epic. To hold Leinster scoreless for 73 minutes, like that. Leinster, they have the best team in the country and the second best team in the country. Let's face it, it's the truth. But for Connacht to hold them scoreless for 73 minutes was I thought was outstanding. And I agree with Sarah. We did have opportunities there. We probably should have kicked for goals. There's a few opportunities there to kick, but I think Jack is he's suffering a little bit from a lack of confidence at the moment. There was someone put up a comment there that they would have. I was talking about the depth at 10 in Ireland and we don't have a lot of competition for the 10 shirt at the moment to replace Sexton, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Pete, I think he said that he'd have Carty on the field because he has a good rugby brain. If we had a place kicker similar to the way Ulster play their 10, that because he's such a good rugby brain, he'd definitely have him on the field if we had a place kicker. And I think there might be some merit in that. But yeah, I was impressed with the performance by Connacht overall. I'm fairly confident going into Friday night that we'll have a win if we can replicate that level of performance. But I don't know if we'll get up first against Scarlets the way we did against Leicester. Yeah, we'll see.
Peter Martin, your thoughts on the game?
I didn't see. I only managed to catch basically the final 20 or 25 minutes of it. Was actually the coach-to-coaches session in my own club. Yeah, look, it was a dogfight of a game. It was kind of tight, really, as I think Interpros should be tight. They should be never, nobody should be beaten out the gate in an Interpro, because I think if someone is being beaten out the gate on a consistent basis in Interpro, it's not good for the domestic game. So it was surprising, all right, to see the scoreline as it was when I came in and managed to start watching it. But it was very obvious, Connacht were being very attritional. Conditions weren't good. James makes reference to difficult kicking conditions. I think I'd say most of the Clan stand, our lungs were out of breath from probably blowing the ball back away from the uprights when Ross Byrne was kicking it. Never mind the wind coming in off the Atlantic.
There was stony silence for the kicks. I can promise you that.
bar. But anyway, no. Look, it is what it is. An attritional game. I think Leinster. It'll be interesting to see what kind of team Leinster managed to spit out now against Munster. But yeah, looking forward to Saturday now as well.
Why going to see you there, Pete, for a point?
Yeah, I don't think we'll be getting down by Cullins. Our bus normally drops us off there at Clonagale. The GAA club there by the.
I know nothing about GAA.
And this is a geography lesson.
You did, yeah.
Peter, I know where he's talking about, and I'm living down in Wicklow.
I don't fucking have a clue what the fuck you're talking about. Go on, I'll text you on the day anyway.
Yeah.
Do the airport.
Yeah, go on.
Richard Holland, any thoughts on the game, or do you see anything else?
Just as has been said, I think the conditions were a massive factor in it. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that the television gave you how bad it actually was there. And I know that they have 5G pitch now and they have all that, so you're not going to have a mud pile at the end of it with lads covered in muck and shit. But just there's one stat I was looking at there is Van der Fleer. He got player of the match, Peter, man of the match.
Yeah. Legend of the match.
Yeah, he 6 carries and 63 meters made.
That's it.
Yeah, and 16 tackles. So, as you said, the Connacht did have their chances. So the fact that Van der Fleer put in 16 tackles in that 80 minutes that he put in is fairly telling as to how hard that Leinster actually had to work for that.
Yeah. True.
Actually, speaking of tackles, Connacht missed 23 tackles to Leinster's 2 in that game. Just like I know.
Say that again, Danny. Connacht missed 23 and Leinster missed 2. Is that?
Yeah, in that game. No.
How many tackles were made in total? Just to figure out the percentage of missed versus make.
They're about 150, I think, tackles each, something like that, I think, per game. There was 154 tackles made by Connacht, 123 by Leinster.
And Connacht missed how many out of that? 123 or whatever it was?
123 tackles. They missed 23 tackles out of that. Leinster missed 2. They have Connacht had a tackle success of 87% to Leinster's 98%. But the one question I have for you, and just yes or no on this, and I'll start with Burke again. Do you think it was more good defensive and bad conditions rather than good attacking rugby?
Do you want a yes or no, or do you want some fucking waffle?
Yes or no? What was it?
It's not really a yes or no answer.
I leave off then.
Good attacker, bad defensive. I look. Yes.
Just answer the question that wasn't asked, Peter.
Yes.
If they can fix the defense, the attack will return. Oh my God, the electricity's about to go in this house. Sorry. Fuck.
Oh my God.
James, do you think there's good defense or bad attack?
I think it was excellent defense by both teams, and yeah, the attack was strong enough, obviously, for Leinster. If they had a 98% success rate in their tackles, that's why we didn't get anything on the scoreboard.
Pierre Martin, good defense or bad attack? What do you think won that game or decided that game?
I'd say it's a combination of both, because for simple reason being both teams are so familiar with each other. Like you're talking about literally a missed tackle here, or a refereeing decision, someone going off a feet of the ruck, because it's all about Leinster thrive in quick ruck ball. You know, they have this mantra, the ground's on fire, which basically means no sooner is it down, the ball is down, it's off the ground again. Like this 1 second ruck speed is what Leinster are based upon. What Connacht want is the ball on the deck. Jesus, it's Halloween time in the Duffy dive.
Hey, Sarah.
But no, that's what it's all about. Like Connacht wanted the ball on the ground, Leinster wanted it off the ground, and it's going to be basically all around the refereeing decisions about, like, you know, is somebody killing the ball? Is someone holding on to it too long? So it's literally down to the referee, down to Frank fucking Moonpig Murphy. In a situation like that, as regards where the fine margins are.
Don't
in my
get me
opinion.
started. Jesus Christ! Fucking the attack on Blade at the back of the ruck, and they didn't get pinged for that, and then they made a burst up the field, and he found some innocuous excuse to give Leinster a penalty to deny us the losing bonus point.
We probably deserve it.
I really don't know who pissed in his porridge when he was at Connacht, but Jesus Christ, he really has it in for us.
Richard Holland, your opinion, good defense or bad attacking? Which do you decide that game?
Again, a little bit of both, I think, but as you said, that stat of 98% tackle success is fairly telling, because if you're tackling guys like that, the opposition is not going to score.
Yeah. Especially when you only miss 2 tackles in your entire game as well, I suppose.
What about the Blair Witch? What about the Blair Witch? What does she think?
Oh, thanks.
The Blair Witch.
A lot worse.
Very good.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy here. The lighting is amazing, and I'm in the dark of the conservatory here. But with the light of my phone. But I think the attack looked off pace in that particular game, but in contrast, I think their defense is improving. But you know, and then you could look at it in some aspects of that game, the defense was poor. But if they can fix the defense, the attack will return. That was just my tuppence worth towards that. But I do agree with the first point you made at the Danny.
So I think it's good defense on both sides more than anything else.
Yeah.
Danny,
that wasn't Leinster's full force either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Danny, can I tell you what the predictions were last week for the Connacht v Leinster game? James Grennan chickened out. He said fucking nothing. He sat in the fucking fence.
Right? Oh, James.
Peter Martin said Leinster by 10 to 15 points. Richard Holland said Leinster by 10 to 15 points. Claire Devney, who unfortunately can't be with us this evening, said Leinster by 12. Danny Brosnan, you said a bonus point win for Leinster either before or after half time. And
has nobody else got really bad weather, or is it just me?
It's just we have it. It would rain. A lot of rain.
Special, Sarah.
No.
There you go.
Yeah. What does Sarah say about that game?
Oh, Sarah said Leinster by 15.
Geez, a couple of very mixed bag with results, I suppose, in terms of predictions, for me at least anyway. Next game we had was Ulster away to Lions. Ulster win that one 39-37. Richard Hall, did go to you first. Did you see any of that game? Or
I did. I seen about the middle hour of it, shall we say.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually a good game. There was a kind of end to end, and it was quite entertaining right up until the end. But the Lions could have pipped it in the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, they really could have.
Because like there's 2 points in it at the end. There's 5 tries each. Was it? I think the only thing that got it for Ulster was their better kicking percentage, 86% to Lions, 71% of the kicks won. But on that, the Lions had 56% of the possession, 56% of the territory, so they could have ended up winning that game.
You could argue they should have won it, Danny, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, like I think, I suppose, a couple of missed kicks here and there, stuff like that, 2 points here, 3 points there, and they could have won it.
Yeah, or a drop goal at the end or whatever.
Yeah. Peter Martin, did you see the game or anything?
I saw very little rugby the past weekend, to be perfectly honest, so I wouldn't really be positioned well enough to give a good account without absolute talk on 7 shades of it. So let's leave it there.
My God, Peter Martin, last words. That's the first.
No, I'm not lost for words. I've plenty of words, Danny. Just won't be quality.
I'm joking.
He did it fucking last week when I asked him, and he didn't see the game, and he went,
Are you okay there, Sarah?
That was a bit close, that one was.
It's only thunder and lightning. Don't be worried about it. It's only thunder and lightning. It's not going to do anything.
Do you know, I actually have...
If Kieran is...
I have my little doggy here beside me here. He's
Sarah, if Kieran's hiding behind the sofa, it's okay.
He's not. He's watching United Spurs play. Fuck, would you stop?
Oh.
Right, like, he doesn't even know I'm down here.
Oh, does he not?
No.
Listen here, we don't need to know your kinky games. Go on or not.
This is my hiding place.
We'll make lots of noise then, Sarah. Don't worry.
I'm fucking deadly at hide and seek.
James, did you see the Ulster Lions game at all?
I did, yeah. It was a great game. It was highly entertaining, and Scotland's new out half was the difference. Cooney's kicking was just was immense.
Has he declared?
No, he hasn't. But he's yeah. If he's any fucking sense, he will.
Yeah, true.
No, he hasn't declared. No. Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic game. It was a really entertaining stuff, and yeah, the Lions or the Bulls or the Zebras or the Gorillas or whatever the fuck those southern teams call themselves. I was pissed watching it. I kept calling them the wrong thing, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and had a few beverages
very pissed off South Africans now.
Sorry. But yeah, great game, great, and they were, yeah, the Lions were very unfortunate not to sneak it at the end there.
Sarah, did you see the game at all?
Yeah, I seen this game. I actually thought, what a game! Like 5 tries apiece. Was it? Yeah, 5 tries apiece.
Yeah.
They got stuck in and disrupted. Like the Lions disrupted Ulster's rhythm for periods of that game. And they nearly got there in the end. It was a kind of a gutsy comeback from the Lions. But, you know, when the subs came on, they essentially lost the kind of third quarter, which, you know, the better team kind of won in the end then. But they look like they're kind of set for a bit of silverware, Ulster. You know, I know it's early doors now, but the academy is producing some really top quality players. Yeah. And you can see it coming through the ranks. In Ulster, really, I suppose, but and they were kind of described as a bit of a basket case there only a couple of seasons ago, but
yeah,
they seem to be coming strength to strength. But it'll be much harder for Ulster. Where are they playing? In Durban next week at the weekend?
Sharks. They're playing the Sharks.
Yeah, that'll be a much bigger challenge.
They won't win that.
No.
No, but I think also our slowly getting their act together, all right, Joe, when it comes to
Yeah.
kind of getting players in, getting the team playing right and all that sort of thing. So I agree with you on that one. Peter, did you see the match at all?
I did, yeah, I did, yeah.
What's your opinions on it?
It was a very entertaining game. I thought at half time Ulster were out of sight, or they should have been. Excuse me.
Right.
But yeah, though the the Lions came back at them, and I think the problem, the issue for Ulster at the moment is I don't know why they fucking do this. Maybe Stockdale coming back, maybe, but I don't know what it is. But their defensive line seems to contract when they're being attacked. And that's where the Lions scored most of their tries out wide. I mean, the yellow card at the Lions, no use. I mean, that's where Ulster scored 2 tries, 3 tries, or whatever it was. I can't remember. I think if that yellow card hadn't happened, I think it might have been a different result. But yeah, fair play. Ulster, they stuck with it. They got the result. But I certainly think if that yellow card hadn't happened for the Lions, it would have been a different result.
Yeah. What was actually our predictions on that game last week?
Lions v Ulster. Let me see. Claire Devaney said Lions by 10. Sarah Duffy said Ulster by 3 to 5 points. James Grennan said a draw. Idiot.
Well, it wasn't far off.
He wasn't far off.
Points in it.
Yeah.
Five
True.
points.
True. Yeah. Richard Holland said Ulster by 6. Peter Martin said Ulster by 3. And who's this? Is this me, or I'm trying to read me on fucking writing here?
How many cans of Heineken were you have to have them at the time?
Probably a lot, I'd say. Deep Ulster by 3 to 4 points. Oh, that was you, Danny. Sorry. Yeah, that was
Probably
you.
me, yeah, right.
Yeah, that was you. Yeah, Danny, you said Ulster by 3 to 4 points. So we weren't
might be the miles off, yeah.
We weren't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so that's there, right, Sarah? I saw
Yeah,
that.
that's all right. That was
Pretty
Well,
clear,
me or the
Sarah.
Lightning?
The Lightning.
I won't say I leave people to figure that one out for themselves.
How many gins have you had, Sarah?
Don't encourage me. I haven't even started the second gin. Holy shit, this light doesn't do anything for the...
Get the fucking gin into you. Will you get the gin into you? I know. Yeah.
gin into you.
Do the same thing. Yeah.
This is
Right.
creepy out, like.
Yeah. For fuck's sake, Jesus Christ! Will you get the gin into you? Stop doing that.
Get into
I'm
your
afraid
Cynthia.
of. Wouldn't know what happened next.
Oh,
Anyway.
jeez. Okay,
It's been a long fucking day. Come on. Get on with
we'll
the
just take our time. We'll take our time now, Sarah. We'll take our sweet time.
What the fuck?
Our
Poor wife,
last,
your poor wife. Take me time. Fucking hell.
Jesus.
I will then.
Oh,
Fine.
Christ.
Peter, I'll go to you and this one first. Munster 31, Blue Bull 17. Bonus point for Munster. What do you reckon of the game, or do you see it, or what?
What Peter are you asking?
Burke.
There you go.
You first, Burke.
No, you said you said I'll go to you first, Peter.
Don't go to me
First-
next.
Well,
I
I'm
have
looking
to
at
be.
my screen and you're next to me.
Bulls v Munster, yeah, it was fucking marvelous, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was Munster needed that. Yeah.
Here, doggy.
Wait.
God, yeah, it's great, yeah, it's fine, yeah, brilliant, well done,
James,
Munster.
James, I'll go to you then.
Yeah, all right. The Munster
Yeah,
game.
dog.
What yours is it? The props try that Loughlin's
Okay,
try.
yeah.
That was just a thing of beauty. Absolutely lucky as hell that your man fumbled it 5 meters out, but like from to chase about 60 meters and score a
yeah.
try there. That was an absolute thing of beauty. I really enjoyed that. But no, fair play to Munster. They've massive improvement from the hockey and they got on the sports ground. But let's not mention the war. Uh, no, absolutely, they were well deserving of their win. Home advantage again. They really did well. And it was great to see the.
They did all right now. You know.
There wasn't a full crowd in Thomond Park. I noticed there was a
No.
lot of empty seats in the upper
Yeah.
tiers.
I think it was something in around 18,000.
Yeah, it wasn't a full
Something like
crowd,
that.
Which is
but
shite.
those that were there did get behind them, and I think it gave them a bit of a lift, all right. Yeah, but yeah, nice to see Munster winning that one.
Sarah Duffy, did you see the Munster game at all?
Yeah, I did actually. I think certainly the Bulls offered a bit of a stern test to them anyway. But Munster survived, especially in that final 10 minutes to see out the game, and they were in a lot of control for the first 70 minutes. Munster, but they were a hugely physical team. They were big men. Holy shit.
Big man, holy shit.
Christ.
That sounds.
Fucking hell, my heart's pounding here. But there was some really good interplay from the backs, even if it was a forwards kind of try day. A lot of the forwards, like
I think all the tries came from the forwards, actually.
Trying the kind of classic Sexton loop from their 9 off Casey a lot, and those kind of emerging players that are playing at a higher standard. I think Coombs was just banging over the tries, wasn't he?
He got 2 tries right. The other one was Lockman and Tyburn. So basically 4 months forwards or 3 months forwards got 4 tries.
But they need nothing but harder games ahead. But they need that energy. They needed that. Yeah. That was the boost Munster needed, and for the games ahead, because it's not going to be a walk in the park for them whatsoever.
No. Peter Martin, did you see the game at all?
I did see a good bit of it actually. Like Munster picked their pack really to go pretty much, I thought, to go toe to toe with the Bulls to deal with the physicality, like Byrne at 6, with Dogbo in alongside Klein in the second row, with Ahern I think was on the bench, so there was plenty of size there. I thought they did very well. Loughnane's try will be on the highlight reel for the rest of his career, no doubt. But I thought the Bulls were fucking shite, to be calling a spade a spade. Like, they played in patches, but like Jake White won't be happy with them at all. The caliber of coach that he is and what he's doing. Like, at the end of the day, that's the team that played the final of they were the losing finalists. Like, to have played the way they did against Munster. Now, Munster were very much up for it. They were very much trying to play the high tempo game, and you could see that there was a few times when there's more to come out of this Munster team. You could see a few times when they're doing the out the back pass and the player wasn't there, or else the ball was dropped. And it's just that familiarity, that repetition, the muscle memory, as you like to quote, Danny.
Yeah.
That's going to come. They're getting close. They'll get better and better and better as the season goes on. So I think, again, I think I put it up on the post somewhere as green shoots. It's definitely very much that. I think Munster might be kind of levelling off as regards how shite they're going to play this season. And I think we're looking at an upward turn in the graph.
Yeah. Richard Holland, your thoughts on the game?
On the Lockman try, that will go down in history. By the time he got back to the bar now, that was a 60-meter solo breakaway try.
For profit, would they?
Yeah. Look, I thought in particular in the last quarter of the game, the defence was very, very good. Granted, they gave away a few offside penalties, but that can happen. I think they lost a little bit of shape once O'Mahony went off. I'll be honest with you. They did kind of lose their way a small bit and let the Bulls back into it. I said last week that I was looking for a response, and that was kind of the response I was looking for. I'll be honest with you, because there was a little bit of fire there when they did go out.
Yeah. I'd ask you this one, Richard. Do you think we're kind of seeing the formation of how Graham Roundtree wants Munster to play going forward after that game?
Certainly the foundations are one, yeah. There is the foundations of the way he wants to play. He seems to be want to keep the ball alive.
Yeah,
at all costs.
Yeah, because I think he kind of knows once they have the ball, it's hard. It's hard to score because we possession for that game last Saturday was even as even could be 50% each, and even then we had slightly more. I think 6% more territory than the Bulls. But I think the way we were playing last weekend, I think is definitely a huge step in the right direction compared to the previous 4 rounds that we were playing. All right, and I'm not sure how it'll go this weekend anyway. But first game actually we have up this weekend, I'll go off to you on this one, Richard Holden first. Connacht versus Scarlets. How do you think that one will go?
Connacht versus Scarlets. Who? Connacht or
Connacht
home?
at
aren't they?
home. Yeah, Connacht at home this one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go like James Brennan and go the draw. No, I'll have Connacht just to shade that.
Peter Martin, Connacht versus Scarlets.
That's a home match for Connacht.
Yeah.
Scarlets have been crap this season, so I'll go for Connacht by 5.
James Brennan.
I'm going for Connacht, obviously. Yeah, probably 5.
Do you want to go down to it, James?
Oh yeah, I'd be there. My son is supposed to be playing at halftime, so my daughter's
Oh,
coming with me.
excellent.
She'll be in the class stand, and he'll be off with his buddies. Hopefully, he's up in bed at the minute 6, so hopefully he'll recover some time for that because
It's early
it'd
days.
be a shame to miss that one.
Yeah. Sarah Duffy.
Yeah, they're not an easy team either. You know, they have a lot of internationals, you know, and a couple of new signings, but 2 very similar teams that haven't been firing at all cylinders. But I think Connacht might edge over these. Just 3 to 5 max.
Mr. Burke, your prediction on the Connacht Scarlet games?
I think I agree with what Sarah said. Both teams not
Misfiring.
well, not necessarily misfiring, but yeah, they're there. But I think Connacht will absolutely fucking wallop Scarlets. I think it'll be 10-15 point win for Connacht. Absolutely, no doubt.
We go around it. We go around the other way. We start with Burke this time. Sharks at home to Ulster. Thoughts on that one?
Oh, God, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go. Ulster are playing well. Sharks are playing well. I'm gonna say Sharks by about 10. Yeah,
Sarah.
I would say a little bit the smaller margin, probably 3 to. I'd say 5. I'll go 5 to Sharks.
James Brennan.
I think I'd give this one to Ulster, and the reason I'm thinking that is they'll be acclimatized now, having had the game last week. They're out there a while. They played really, really well in the conditions, or not being fully acclimatized. And I think, I think by 3 maybe Ulster.
Peter Martin. Ulster versus.
I'd be kind of inclined to agree with James. I think Ulster have made a major step forward with beating when they beat. They're up at the Bulls last week. No, sorry, not the Bulls, but the
Lions.
The Lions.
Yeah.
I think that was a big step forward because they came so close last year in South Africa to beating them, and probably should have beaten one of the teams. So I will actually go. I think Ulster have momentum about them, and I don't know if Etzebeth and Khaleesi are going to be back for the Sharks. That could be that could tip the balance, but assuming the Springbok contingent aren't back with the Sharks, I'll go for Ulster to win.
Richard Holland. Sharks and Ulster.
Sharks by 7, I think.
Ooh. Do you think it'll be just too good overall at home? Is it?
I think there's a very good chance that Ulster went out there to target to take one game. and I think that might very well have been the Lions game. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good point, Richard. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I think are actually the first Irish province, as far as I know of, to get the full 5 points from South Africa since the South African teams joined last season. They're the first province to do it. Yeah. Get a full 5 points. I think our teams might have got 4 points, but they're the first one to rake up a bonus point win. Now, I suppose the match is around 6. Leinster versus Munster. Richard Holland, I come back to you on this one.
As sad as I think this is going to be a thumping. I honestly do. I think Leinster are going to pace them by 15 points.
Yeah, I don't see us winning this one at all.
Yeah, and
Pierre Martin.
I think this is basically a battle of the treatment table. We're missing guys, you're missing guys, and I think probably the fact that we've probably that slightly better squad, we can probably deal with losses better than you can due to squad depth. I'll give it to Leinster by 10. Hope I'm wrong, obviously, but there you go.
Yeah, James Brennan.
Typically, Munster don't do great in the Aviva. I think this is in the Aviva, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
It's not the RDS. So I would hope for a close game, but I genuinely don't see it happening. I would say maybe 10 to 15 as well for Leinster.
Sarah Duffy.
Yeah, I mean, the Irish derbies they're kind of still special in every way, aren't they? But obviously I'm a Leinster win, but I think Munster might be ready for this. I would say it's going to be a 10-15 point gap. But, I'd like to think that they put it up to Leinster a bit. But, unfortunately, Leinster are kind of lacking a bit of strength in the back at the moment. Leinster are a different team when Gibson Park are on low, and especially Keenan in full back. The forwards are clearly key to putting those backs on the team, and firing going forward with strength and depth and stuff. But yeah, I think Leinster will do a job on them, but I don't think it'll be a hammering. I really don't. I think it's going to take Munster at least a minimum of a year to get that new style of play, to weed out the kind of many average players that they have at the moment. Yeah. There'll be a lot of bad before there's good, and I'm putting a positive spin on it. I don't think I would be completely shocked if Munster do a job on Leinster. But I think it'll be a 5-7 points in it.
Peter Burke, your prediction on it?
Loads of Heineken.
Sorry, I'm just sorry. Hold on 1 sec, Johnny. I'm just looking at a thing here on
just filling a can.
No, I'm just looking at the my Ultimate Rugby app. Now, the predictions, who the fans think will win. I'm just looking at this. 79% of the fans think Leinster will win, and obviously then 21% think Munster will win. The Irish Interpros are they are a thing amongst themselves. You just don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, I'll be at the game and I'll be hoarse and I'll be upset and I'll be annoyed if Leinster play badly. But you just don't know these things. I mean, Munster, they're light up front, they're light in the pack. Leinster have that power in the pack and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I mean, to call a winner, obviously, I'd say, being a Leinster supporter, I'd say, Leinster will hockey them.
I take that. That's a prediction now. That's a prediction.
No, shut up. But it's not I don't think it's as straightforward as that, because these games, Leinster, Munster, Ulster, Connacht, Leinster, Munster, the Irish Interpros are always going to throw up a surprise. And I because there's such, you know, passion involved in beating your fellow man, your province and all that. I don't know. Like, I mean, I really don't know. I put a post up saying it wouldn't surprise me if Leinster and Munster was a draw. And that's, I really don't know. Like, I'd love to say, yeah, Leinster will beat them. Like, that's the obvious, that's the default situation to say Leinster will win, Leinster will win, Leinster will win, Leinster will win. But I don't know. So as James Grennan said last week or the week before, put me down for a question mark.
I put you down for a draw.
What?
No, I don't. No, seriously, Sarah, I can't. I don't know. Like,
that fence must be very comfortable.
I don't normally sit in the fence. I normally just call it how it is. But for this particular
week,
game,
the fence is comfortable.
You're right, Pete. For this week, the fence is comfortable. I'm sitting on the fence. There you go.
He's on a fucking recliner chair on the fucking fence with the sounds of it.
Oh, just shut the fuck up. No, we never stop with you. I'm sitting on the fence on this one.
With his cap and his pipe and his blanket sitting on the fence. Have a look at your fucking jersey there, would you, for fuck's sake, man?
No, but you know, I actually agree with Burko on this one, because last time I think Munster and Leinster met.
Sure, Danny, you're just here for fun.
But Leinster practically felt maybe their second, third string squad, in terms of actual quality. When they had a Champions Cup game coming up, Munster went in fully stocked. On paper, Munster should have won that one, but we ended up getting our arse handed to us.
Actually, so, Danny, you're right. It'll be very interesting to see the team selections probably Friday when they're released. It'll be interesting to see that. Then I'll be able to say, well, maybe Leinster might win it or Munster might win it or whatever.
Or you might stay in the fence
Peter,
still.
sorry, go on ahead, Peter. Say what you said there.
I just finished.
Not you.
Oh, sorry.
Peter Martin, what did you just say there? I interrupted you, sorry.
Yeah, or else he might just stay in the fence.
Yeah. But Peter, do you not think the strength is lacking in the Leinster backs unless the likes of Keenan and stuff are there? Like, Munster have it in the back line.
Like we have a fair few injuries.
Not at the moment. We have too many injuries.
Have you seen our injury list down south? Yeah, not looking good, to be fair.
Well, there'll be a lot of bad before it's good for Munster. But I think they're going in the right direction.
Yeah, but sure.
They definitely are, I'd agree,
Yeah. How many times have I said before, I never rated coach's first season because that's his bedding in season.
No.
So that's why I say actually, after this week's match is right, I hope there's not too many more injury concerns, because Andy Farrell actually named his squad, his main squad, his A squad for the Interpros or the November Internationals coming up. Peter Burke, what do you reckon of the squad he named? Any case surprises?
1 sec there now, Danny. I'm just looking at it now. No real shocks, no real surprises. I mean, he's named 7 in the back 3, which we all kind of expected. Balakoon, Hansen, Keegan, Larry, Nash, Jimmy O'Brien, Jacob Stockdale. Centers, Henshaw, McCluskey, Ringrose, which we all knew. Out halves now. Joey Carberry, Frawley and Sexton as the out halves. And then he has on the Ireland A team, he's got Jack Crowley. I would have put Crowley into that and taken, sorry to be controversial, but I always am. I would have taken Carberry out of that. Fuck off, Carberry. I would have put Crowley in for that. Scrum halves, Casey, Gibson Park, Conor Murray, the usual shite. Beatham, Furlong, Healy, Lockman, you all know them. Heffernan, Herring. I know. Go on. I want to like. Go on. There you go.
Yeah. What's your take on the squad overall?
It's not bad, but we're a bit light in some areas.
Where would you consider us light anyway, Peter?
Probably scrum half 9-10.
Ooh,
Mm.
particularly experience.
We
Sarah
get
Duffy?
an injury. We get a bad. Sorry, Danny. We get an injury 9 and 10, and we're fucked.
Especially Sexton.
Absolutely, yes.
Murray and
Yeah.
Gibson Park. Murray or Gibson Park, we might be able to operate without one of them. But if Sexton goes,
Well,
that's everything out the window. Sarah Duffy, your thoughts on the score?
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat too much of what Peter said, but it was a bit of a head scratcher. That I always get his name wrong. The 9 for Ulster, Doak.
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 So,
What was that? Like, what was the story behind him being left out? I couldn't get my head around that. Is it because is it something to do with the central contracts that some of these lads haven't secured? Is that why they're not there? Or
Don't know. He's not even on the
Um,
Ireland A team, Sarah.
yeah, because Kieran Day, that's that 9 jersey there for the Ireland Day squad.
that was a bit of a head scratcher because I thought he has played all right. Like, he has stepped up. I was delighted for Calvin Nash, Quaylon Blade, Jimmy O'Brien, Kieran Frawley, obviously. They've
Martin
all
Moore.
kind of upped their games in the last couple of seasons. And, it would have been nice to see the likes of Stuart Moore, given his defence in the Emerging Ireland Tour, I thought was brilliant. He was non-stop. And obviously that Balakoon, what's his name? Balakooni, the sevens player.
Balkan.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant, and deservedly he got his place. Is it true Cooney won't get a place on that squad as long as Sexton's there? Is there something?
There is a thing there, yeah.
Is there bad blood there or something, or is it just shy talk?
There is bad
Goes
blood
back-
there, yeah.
There's something goes back to the Ulster or to Clooney's Leinster days.
Yeah.
We
That's
don't
just
actually know the ins.
Silly. But overall, I'm pretty excited to see that team, and especially the A team. You always like to see the kind of new, fresh blood, good legs coming through. And I'm looking forward to the series. I'm not going to say any more because Peter's already gone through the team, but delighted for a lot of those new, younger players coming through. They proved the point in that Emerging Ireland Tour.
James Graham, your thoughts on the squad?
The thing that I'm excited about seeing is the 6 new caps there: Prendergast, Nash, Frawley, Lockman, O'Brien, and McCarthy, just to see how they go. Particularly Prendergast, he was given the captaincy in the Emerging Ireland squad, and he seemed to thrive on that, and he played well.
Good player, James. Great player.
Yeah, there's no major surprises though across the board, really. I don't think. Yeah, it's the usual same. Well, we're lucky to have them all,
Actually, one that I was actually surprised seeing that R&D squad was Marky Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a left field, isn't it?
Peter Martin, your thoughts on the squad?
Yeah, just to echo what James said, like to get the 6 caps, I think Prendergast is going to get a cap against one of the 3 nations. That's no doubt because he's been involved for as long as he has, and he's the Emerging Ireland team. I'm just a little bit surprised, I suppose, really, that they've earmarked 12 players for Ireland A. So obviously some of the other players in the main squad are going to make up the balance of that team there or thereabouts. I just thought it was a little bit kind of, I don't know whether that's a good or, but I'm open to an opinion on whether actually saying, right, we're naming a squad and we have an Ireland A squad, but we're only naming 12 players in it, because it seems to basically effectively lock them in. I feel, just looking at it, that's my initial reaction, is that it locks them into, right, you're getting the A game. It's just my thing. Like, why not just basically say it's a combined squad?
Yeah.
And like that, Marty Moore, like he must be doing something all of a sudden. I know at one stage, I always wondered why he wasn't getting picked, why Schmidt wasn't picking him, and I suppose early days Farrell, but I watched him for a few games. Moore, when he was on the pitch, wasn't very mobile, and he was a penalty machine. So I'm figuring in myself, that's my opinion as regards maybe that's why he's been omitted. So maybe he's been given a nudge to work on that, get a bit fitter, get a bit mobile, and now here we are. He's back in the frame because he can scrummage.
Pete, is this not the Ireland day to play the New Zealand 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing here now, or something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, plus the balance of the 23 will come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm seeing it here is the way the Ireland 8 team are named is kind of like, okay, lads, you're our backups. If any of the main squad get injured, you're coming straight into the squad in their place. That's the way I'm seeing kind of the way the Ireland 8 squad is done, because you've got Kilcoyne, Marty Moore, and Roman Salanoa in there as well, and Diarmaid Barron. So that's what, 3 guys straight away in front row.
Yeah.
Those as their job. So I'd say they kind of want them to step up if any lad has to pull for some reason. But finish up in this one with Rich Holland, your thoughts on the squad?
Yeah, look, as Peter said, it's most of it's fairly well expected. I think Calvin Nash is probably a little bit of a bolter there.
Probably, yeah.
On merit, he probably does deserve it, but I'd imagine if James Lowe had been fit, that he wouldn't have been there. I'll be honest with you. But other than that, it's a good squad, and that Ireland A squad as well. There's plenty of potential there.
Delighted for Tom Ahern, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually played well against the Bulls for the.
He did.
Yeah.
The big man, he's great hands as well. Like it's. I was telling him, I think I put it up on the group during the week, that he actually started his school's career at fullback.
Oh yeah.
So they must have given a miracle grow or something, because he must have grown about 2 foot in the summer or whatever happened, and now all of a sudden you're going in there at lock. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but I tell you what, Pierre. Richard, I think he's about 6'9", 6'10" in height, and I've seen him play for the under-20 around the same time Crowley was playing for the under-20s as well. Was it last year or the year before? And I think he made one breakaway for a try, and you could just see he had this kind of natural speed to him. And of course, I suppose with the long, lanky legs as well and everything like that, he made ground fairly well. So I think, to be honest with you, there is probably a lot of mobile talent with him.
Was that against France, actually?
I think it was.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. He made one very good breakaway, and he seems to be a natural athlete about him. So to be honest with you, he could be fairly surprising, though, given the size of the lad.
Yeah.
Coming forward in 3 years. But one last question quickly here. I'm going to start with go to you in this one, Richard. We've seen 2 Premiership teams fail, go into administration last week or two. The Rochester Warriors and most recently Wasps. Do you think teams in the URC could have the same problem over the next season or two, or is it just a problem maybe within the Premiership rugby?
I think there's at least one of the Welsh regions in trouble. Yeah, I do, and I think there'll be one of them will go. It's unfortunate, but I think it will happen. The thing about the Premiership rugby is their business model was never going to work. It relied on a very, very wealthy benefactor in basically every club. And when that money dried up, it was goodbye. We'll see you later. Thanks for everything.
Peter Martin, your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, it's an awful shame. You see the pictures there, like there's Joe Launchbury had a picture up on, I think it was on social media, there with his wife and kids. He's with them 12 years and he's devastated. Like this is what you're seeing now from players is not what you see from soccer players, like who are just basically pure mercenaries, really. Like, like we are a family as a sport. We've got that family feel, that family ethos about us. So like basically, you're joining from one family to another when a player moves on from one province or club to another province or club, and they feel part of it. Sure, even you could see James Ryan, was heartbroken. Like he said, it's only been a short period of time, but he's just sad to leave because, there's a big thing being made out of how, despite the fact the professional setup and so on in England, that there's very much what we know exists here in the game, which is the family ethos and the community and all that it's very much a part in England as well. So look, it's an awful shame. Like, you just hope that players will have doors open for them, that they'll manage to nail down employment in some shape or form. Like, John Ryan's too good to be left, claiming the dole effectively. And there are others there as well. Like, there's a raft of the Irish women. I hope somehow the IRFU is able to hit them up and maybe get them a position with one of the provinces or whatever. Just do whatever they can. That's all they can do, is do whatever they can. As regards the Scottish region, or not the Scottish, but the Welsh regions, I say the Dragons are the Dragons will be gone because they're the worst. They're a structure in turmoil, with Dean Ryan being effectively fucked out. And they've struggled for years. Like, they're all struggling, the Welsh regions, but because they don't capture the imagination of the Welsh rugby public. So, I think my bets would be on is that the Dragons will be the first to cease trading.
James Grennan, your thoughts on this?
The whole thing is just depressing. It's awful to see. I think that the topic's been covered there by everybody. Yeah, I hate to see it.
Sarah Duffy?
Yeah, personally, I think it's a business structure. The whole private ownership, is in direct competition with the RFU, just for profit. And the English rugby has really, really suffered. Like 2 decades ago, a lot of those teams were like complete powerhouses, and it's such a shame. But it's so sad to even talk about it. Like, that England rugby, the game is struggling in England. And I hope I'm wrong, when I say that some club, they won't be the only 2 clubs that are going to struggle, that this is going to happen to. But I wondered, is it a case of the teams having 2 fewer home games in the last couple of seasons? COVID took its toll. It's left a massive hole in their budgets. And it's just awful to think that is happening in such a, it is a wealthy country.
Yeah.
But I do think it's the whole private ownership and the whole, as I said, the direct competition with the RFU just for pure profit, and all those players, male and female, that have lost, and the 169 people that lost their jobs. In the current climate, that's just heartbreaking for them all. And you can only wish people well and hope that they get doing what they love back, for whatever province or country, be it they go to France or whatever. You just hope that all works out for them.
The only good thing is, I think a few of the Warriors players were taken up by championship clubs as well. I think they're given short-term deal status to the end of the season as cover. So I think a few players will get to other clubs as well, maybe in France, or I think in URC. They're looking to get deals with them. So hopefully they do get something sorted out. But Peter, what do you think of the whole situation of
what? Sorry,
Joe, the way Warriors and Ross have gone to administration, you think the same thing could happen to maybe a few clubs in the URC, or is that possible?
I highly doubt it. Well, I'll just go back to the Irish provinces. I don't think if we think back to when Connacht were going to be disavowed or disillusioned or whatever, or gone away with or whatever, disbanded. The IRFU are a highly, massively liquid money, cash-rich organization. They are backed, and some of the individual provinces are backed by very wealthy individuals. Leinster, Connacht, Ulster, Munster, they all are. This unfortunate shit that is going on in the Premiership with Wasps and Worcester, and I'm sure there's going to be one or two others. That is the RFU's failing as a governing body, and it's fucking disgraceful. It's absolutely fucking disgraceful. Putting clubs into private ownership is a one-way street, because all private owners want, all business owners want, is a return on their investment. They want profit, and they will do anything and everything they can to get money back from their investment. That's not the case with the IRFU and 4 provinces here. So yeah, I think the IRFU have made, or sorry, the RFU have made an absolute fucking bollocks of this whole setup in the Premiership. They should not. Putting clubs into private ownership is a bad idea from the outset. It really is. It's a bad fucking idea, and we've seen the results, and we will continue to see the results of this absolute horseshit mismanagement of how a club or a business should be run. And unfortunately, this is not going to be the end of it.
We're talking about something cheery now, folks. For fuck's sake, we'll have no viewers left if we keep going at this.
Well, there you go. I mean, James, I don't sit in the fence. Anything
to be said for another mass?
No, another mall, yes. Another mass, no.
Oh, yes, another mall, yes.
Everyone loves a good mall.
We all know about you and your tackle, Sarah, so settle.
Yeah.
I was asked to go back playing. I would love to. Oh, stop.
Are you going to go back playing?
Oh no.
No.
I was actually asking the Arco team about Clare, and they haven't played Garda Westmantown yet. Oh. And I said, watch out, I think she plays scrum half for the winger. What colour hair she got? I said blonde. Don't hit her too hard.
No, Sarah, I think you're a bit like Sarah, I think you're a bit like myself when it comes to going back playing. The mind is willing, but the body isn't.
Oh, 100%. Mind is like, go for it. Take them out. Low and hard. Hold no prisoners.
That's me every night in bed with the missus.
Listen here, come on.
Go on,
really brave polish there. Fair play to Peter. At your age.
If you have to talk about it, you're not getting it.
That's true.
We all know you have a very active imagination, Peter, so don't worry about it.
He's doing really well for 59.
Would you shut the fuck up? I'm not 59, I'm 51, for fuck's sake.
You look like you're 59.
That's really
Not a day over 59.
Go on, Danny, time check.
It's time for us to wrap this up and say goodnight. Peter Burke, Sarah Duffy, James Brennan, Peter Martin, Rich Todd. Until next week, I'll say goodbye.
See you next week.
Good job, Danny. Good job, Danny.
Get my candles out now because there's no electricity.
Good job, Danny. Chat to you next week.
Blair Witch.
Go on. Good luck.
Stay safe, everybody. Good luck.